The following podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Like what you hear? Want more of it ad-free, uncensored, and earlier? Sign up today at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and start getting more for as little as $2 a month.
Don't miss your favorite superstars take center stage to forge the future of the hottest new brand in WWE.
Hey, how's it going, buddy? Do you want your little hoof? Yeah, you want your hoof. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Drew from WrestleMedia.ca doing Forging the Future today. Jeff just sent us a message, all of us here at WrestleMedia, the network, saying that he's not going to be able to do this for the next couple weeks, so anybody here can cover him? I said, absolutely. Dad, would you just play with your hoof? And as is tradition recently, when your buddy Drew does solo episodes, I have my buddy Baxter with me, my mixture of a Doberman and a pit bull. He is just wonderful. He's a little energetic. He's just 7 months old. But, yeah, he's my little buddy. He helps me out. He sits near me while I do my recording and plays with whatever toy or treat I've given him recently. And the most recent one is a hoof. Apparently, these are good for dogs. I don't know if it's a pig. It's about the size of a pig. But anyway, while that keeps him busy, you and I are going to be discussing the NXT brands, both the regular NXT and UK. Now, for our patrons, these are the men and women, I should say. We are equal opportunity here at WrestleMedia.ca. We like to make sure that we address every single person that comes in here and treat them as our friend. That's the idea. That is the goal. And we hope, as your friend, we get to know you a little bit better and we get to treat you a little bit better. The best way we can do that is a give and take. What does he say in Silence of the Lambs? A quid pro quo. So you come to us and you say, I really like you. I want to support you even more. And if you support us, we will give back. We will give you extended episodes. We will give you merch. We will give you contests. We will give you opportunities that you don't normally get on WrestleMedia.ca if you just show up. But you know what? We love the ones that show up too, so much that you get free episodes. Thing is, you pay a little forward, you get extended episodes. For example, today's free episode is going to feature just a recap of NXT and then the MVP of the week and the match of the week. Then you patrons, you get to hear what happened at NXT UK, which if you haven't watched yet, British wrestling is its own entity, its own universe, own atmosphere. It's something to experience. I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out an episode yet, to see that and to get your opinions heard on WrestleMedia.ca. You can do that by either commenting on this on our social media, which you can find at WrestleMedia.ca, or by simply, just listening to all the episodes. We got a new one coming out, a new show coming out every single day. We get your wrestling fix here at WrestleMedia.ca. Okay, Adam, have I said the website enough? Probably. And if there's something I missed, I'm sure he's going to cut in at some point in this episode and say, just so you know. Or maybe I've covered it all and I'm fantastic. Who knows? The only way we'll know is by continuing forward and forging the future. Let's begin. At NXT, fantastic episode. We're starting to really build towards TakeOver Toronto. Starting to set up a few more of the matches. Last week, we were reintroduced to Johnny Gargano. First time we saw him after he lost to Adam Cole at the previous TakeOver 25. And when he came back, everyone's thinking, oh, now there's going to be a match. Oh, are they going to have a rematch again? Go for a third time. Well, William Regal said, I like that number 3. So they're basically going to have a 3 stages of hell match. The dog, I gave you a hoof. Play with your hoof. What have you done to your hoof? Here's your hoof. Go get it. He loves the hoof. Don't eat Kleenex. All right, he's not eating Kleenex. Okay, so a 3 stages of hell match. Johnny Gargano picks the first stipulation. Adam Cole picks the second. And if they need a third, William Regal's going to do it. Now, since this is a predetermined storyline, you know that William Regal's going to release the third one. I don't know if he's going to wait till TakeOver. That wasn't announced this week, but we did get the first 2 stipulations. Now, Johnny Gargano, not surprisingly, went with a street fight, which is very much on brand for the man. When he has a vendetta, he likes no disqualifications, he likes no rules, he just wants to beat the living hell out of an opponent any way he knows how, any way he can. But then Adam Cole, I had no idea what he was going to pick, to be honest. I thought like a handicap match or something real, bad guy. You know what he did? Normal match. A normal wrestling match, because that's the way he won the title against Johnny Gargano. This is one of the reasons I love NXT. Storytelling and a genuine necessary need of characters. Like, they keep the characters consistent, which is always appreciative in my book. Adam Cole is a bad guy, and he wants the simplest way. And he knows that he's beat Johnny Gargano in a simple wrestling match. The first time they had a simple one in that 2 out of 3 falls match, he won the first fall. When they just had a normal match at the next TakeOver, he's won. So it's the easiest way, and he doesn't need a stipulation to win. Plus, the audience hates him because it's like, we wanted like chaos. We wanted ladders. We wanted chairs. We wanted steel cages. And he's like, no. Normal wrestling. Ha-ha! I loved it. Absolutely loved their reveals. We still haven't gotten anything from Regal, which I think we may wait until the TakeOver, which honestly, I am perfectly fine with. You and I haven't talked since the NXT Breakout Tournament began. When the last time I was on Forging the Future, he had just announced that it was happening. Have you seen all these matches yet? I love them so much. What was his name? Dustin last week? The one that was creepy one that walked on his knuckles and just had this aura about him? I honestly thought he was going to win. Not the whole tournament, but could progress a little bit farther. I want to see more of him. It's a fascinating individual. But this week, we saw Angel Garza. Is it Garza or Gaza? I think it's Garza. Yeah, Angel Garza and Jordan Miles. Now, I honestly thought Angel Garza was going to take this whole thing. He was going to win, and he was going to face Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship. But then it was Jordan Miles that won. And it was a stellar match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did. When they were fighting, and Angel was doing that apron trick, he ripped the apron out from under Jordan Miles, and it worked beautifully. I adored it. And then this was the first time my girlfriend got to watch Angel Garza, and she loved that he ripped off his pants. Not, actually, yeah, for the exact reason you think. I loved it because, that's new. That's new, and it works well with the character. She said, he ripped off his pants. Absolutely fair. She was actually going for Jordan Miles, and when he eventually won, she said, yes, that's awesome. Oh, he's in the finals. Cool. So now I've got her invested, and we're going to watch the semifinals next week, and I wish I could remember who's going to be next week. It was the Australian one, Australian Strong Style, and what was it? He was trained by the Hardy Boys. That's all I can remember. Anyway, I was really impressed with him at the second half of his breakout match. So I'm going for him. I wish I could remember his name, but I want him and Jordan Miles in the finals. But I think it might be the Australian guy, just because at the end of the match, former TM61 tag team Shane Thorne came out and said, I was doing stuff like this. I was jumping off scaffoldings. Where's my breakout moment? These guys get an opportunity at a title. Where's my opportunity? Man, I'm a bad guy. It's typical stuff. But it does open up the door, give him a chance to kind of be seen on TV again, and maybe give him something with one of the breakout stars. Maybe he goes up against the Australian saying, no, I'm the one that's from a different country altogether. I think he's New Zealand, actually, Shane Thorne. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know he's from the Down Under area. So maybe easy thing there. Like, no, you're taking my thing. This is my thing. This is the thing that people recognize me by. I don't know where it's going, and I couldn't be happier because the breakout tournament is everything I hoped it would be. Now, following up, we get to see Xia Li again. This is the first time we saw her since she faced the Brazilian woman. I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible with names. And most of this is going off the top of my head, so if you'll forgive me. When they fought, I wasn't too impressed. The match was okay, but then I remembered, wait, this is a developmental brand. We've been getting spoiled with all the matches going on that when you see something that's like, it's okay, you realize, Oh, yeah, they're still trading. So they still have a ways to go. And Xia Li showed off a little bit more in this match. Now, she showed off a brutality to Bianca about 75% of the way through, and Xia has this look that I really love. But yeah, this was a match that is building up Bianca. I don't know if they have anything in store for her right now. They just want to build her up as a beast before, she gets anywhere. But it wasn't like they're forgetting about Xia Li. We've given up on her. They gave her good offense. She sold everything really well. This was an opportunity to see a different side of Xia Li, and I liked it. It was a good squash match. Next up was the Killian Dane video, where last week we saw him take out Matt Riddle. I love this promo. I don't know if it's on the WWE YouTube page or if you haven't seen it. Just watch all of NXT. NXT is fantastic this week. And Killian Dane video talks about, welcome to my world. You were the champion of yours. You were UFC champion. You saw wrestling champion. You were wrestling in high school. But he says, but I don't deal with discipline. My world doesn't have discipline. We fight. I'm like, that is so good. It builds up Matt Riddle as a great competitor, but it also builds up Dane as this monster. Are you able to combat this man of pure anger and aggression with discipline? It's a great match that I think is building up maybe towards TakeOver, or it's going to be the following week. You know how they like to have main events after TakeOver that don't feature anybody at the event because NXT's filming either before or after. I've never actually been to one. But I think that's going to be the main event is Killian Dane and Matt Riddle the week after TakeOver, or the Wednesday after TakeOver. But not to take anything away. Great video package, great promo. It is going to be a great feud. After that was the first of two videos where Mia Yim is taking out Shayna Baszler's backup, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. Now, which one was in the... Okay, so one of the videos, I believe it was Shafir, was getting into her car, and Mia Yim's like, I'm going to close this car door on your face. And boom. All right, so I'm guessing Shafir's out. And then Duke was in the locker room, so she goes, I'm going to take you out. Hits her arm with a locker, breaking it. And now it's just her and Shayna Baszler, I'm assuming, for the title at TakeOver. I still believe that Shayna's holding on to that title until Dakota Kai comes back, because this all started with Dakai, and it's going to end with her and really build up her as the next Bayley in NXT, kind of like that full-blooded face that the kids love and is actually really freaking good in the ring. But, of course, she got injured and it won't be back for a bit. So I think they're just building up Shayna as monster. All started with her, and Dakota Kai is going to take her out. Now, I'm not feeling this rivalry between Yim and Baszler. I don't know. I've never actually felt a real rivalry with Shayna since Kairi Sane. When she was going up against Bianca Belair, it felt... They had a great match, don't get me wrong. It just didn't feel like magic was there, like the rival... Imagine Edge and John Cena. Like, there was just a magic between those two guys where I felt that with... what the heck? Well, I'm blanking on her name. I just said it. The Pirate Princess. Anyway, I felt the magic there. But then when it was Io Shirai, when it was Belair, when it's Yim, I just don't have that same feeling. And I don't know if it's whose fault it is, or maybe it's just my personal preference. But maybe I'm tired of Shayna being the women's champ. I don't know. It just doesn't have the feud that is bringing me in, unlike the North American Championship. Now, if you haven't seen NXT yet, I really don't want to spoil this for you, but that's kind of the whole point of this show. But somebody comes back. All right. So if you're sticking around, Velveteen Dream comes out, says Roderick Strong says he pinned me, and that makes him number one contender. And I don't think I'm afraid of him. No, I'm definitely not afraid of him. Like, there's a little fear in Velveteen Dream's voice. Then Roderick comes out, and everything's going normal. Like, oh, I beat you. I'm coming to get you. This is happening. Give me the match. You know, pretty generic stuff. You're not really invested too much because, okay, this isn't like the best Velveteen Dream feud. And then the Bruiserweights theme hits, which has me a little perplexed. I'll get to that later with the NXT UK portion of this show. But regardless, Bruiserweight comes back. Huge pop from the audience. They love seeing Pete Dunne. And he comes out breaks Roderick Strong's fingers, and then looks at the North American Championship, goes, I like that. Then Roderick Strong goes up to William Regal, starts yelling, and Regal's just being a smug Brit about it, and I love the whole thing. He said, this is favoritism. He goes, yeah, it is. So now it's a triple threat match. Roddy, Pete Dunne, Dream, all at TakeOver for the North American Championship. I don't know if Roddy is taking it. I don't know if Pete Dunne's going to take it. I don't know if Velveteen Dream is going to retain. I don't know who's winning. Storyline-wise, could work for all three. I'm just excited for that match because it's going to be brutal. Three very different styles. Roddy, more of a technician. Pete Dunne, British Strong style. And Velveteen, the WWE style, are all going to clash. And it is going to be fantastic because all three of those men are great at what they do. Plus, the history between Roddy and Pete Dunne. They're going to have a match next week, which is going to be stellar. But with Roddy betraying Pete Dunne to join the Undisputed Era, and Pete never really getting his revenge. Granted, they won at TakeOver War Games last year, but that's not really Roddy getting back at everyone. That's just kind of, let's beat up the Undisputed Era, because we can. But now it's Roddy's time to, I'm going to dismantle you, you undisputed jackass. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. You know who else I love? Casey Catanzaro. Did I say her name right? Probably not, but damn do I love her in the ring. Her entrance into the ring, climbing up the turnbuckle, I love. It's so unique. It differentiates her, and it sets up her character perfectly. The female Ricochet. And that's kind of what I've been calling her, just because, you know, he's great. She's great. They're great at this cruiserweight, over-the-top, jumping around, flipping style. She's going to be huge. I know it. We just got to give her some time. This was not the match to showcase her skills, though, as this was more of a chair for Io Shirai and Candice to get a leg up and get a feud going. I say chair because Candice LeRae gets out there, starts beating up Io Shirai, grabs a chair, and is about to just destroy her. Now, at this match, Io Shirai kind of dominates Casey, just because, you know, Io Shirai is a nutball, and they've got to establish that she's a nutball. So Casey doesn't get a lot of offense, but that's fine. The audience still loves her, so we just got to wait a little bit longer before they can find a program for her and another woman. But more on focus, this is about LeRae and Shirai. And it felt, I don't know, like it wasn't enough. I'm sure it's establishing something for TakeOver. Maybe it's the first women's match at a TakeOver that does not involve the women's title. Be pretty cool. But, yeah, it just kind of felt like, all right, Candice is out here. Tries to beat up Io. Io runs. Yeah, they hate each other. Yeah, it could have been more, I guess. But I guess it's the little dangle of a carrot before you get to the big stuff. Then we finally get to our main event, which is stellar. Was stellar. Keith Lee and Damian Priest. Now, I wasn't a big Priest guy. He was still introduced, getting the rough edges kinked out, trying to figure out who this man is. But this match sold me. He is looking to be a great heel. Not like the... He's going to get the critique of like, oh, he's the next Aleister Black. I don't think so. I think he's just more of a cocky goth. Think more Baron Corbin. You know, and more of like before he became this, what do people call him? The Applebee's manager. More when he was the biker guy, but just, you know, with more charisma, more personality. And he got to showcase, like, his skills with somebody that's close to his size and strength. And then there was this moment where Damian Priest jumps over the top rope, showing his athleticism, and Keith catching him. Now, normally when this happens, you know, there's a little bit of a struggle, but Keith caught him no problem. And, you know, Damian Priest is a big guy, so I adored it. And remember, this is when Keith Lee started saying, you know, I'm not going to be unlimited anymore. I'm going to be undefeated or something. I can't remember what he said, but this is supposed to be a whole new Keith Lee. He did lose, so we might be getting a heel Keith Lee, or we might just be getting a new character coming out of him instead of just this guy that's happy to be here, which WWE seems to do a lot. But honestly, these guys are going to be in the main event at some point, if they're not called up beforehand. They are great. It was a what do they call it? Adam's been calling it some. Was it a Hoss match? Remember, you see two big guys go at it. He said this when it was like, if Mastiff and Walter go together, it's a Hoss match. I'm just trying to get this terminology down. Two big guys going at it, stellar. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was NXT. I'd give it, I'd say a B+. Could use a little more oomph with maybe the Io Shirai stuff. Main event was great. The breakout tournament was great. It's more of just we're still in the setup phases, and there was no real execution or excitement. Pete Dunne coming back was really exciting, but I don't know, could use a little more. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Wasn't the best match of NXT, but certainly a great one. Now, before we get to NXT UK, we got to go through the match of the week and the MVP of the week. MVP to me, it's got to be Keith Lee. He showed something in this match showing that he's going to be sticking around for a while. He's always improving in the ring, showing off more and more of what he can do. He's just a great guy promo. He's got a great look. He backs it up in the ring. He's got this strength. He's interesting. He's fun. And this week, he was my MVP. Now, the match of the week actually happened at NXT UK, and it was the main event. I'm not going to tell you who that is. I'm leaving that for our patrons. But thank you, everybody who signed up for the free version of WrestleMedia. We love you dearly for checking out our stuff. And for the ones that pay a little bit extra to help this show keep going, this one's for you. But again, to everybody, we love you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today. This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
They did some turnbuckle stunts, some high-flying stunts. It was a solid match. I really enjoy it. And I don't know, it wasn't really a vehicle for Kaylee Ray and Tony Storm. Kind of took a back seat. Because last week, Tony said, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And that was horrible, I know.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.